The other thing I've got is a bottom mic, which is 441 Sennheiser underneath on the snare. So here's what it sounds like raw. I think I cut that through a Ventec, actually. Yeah, the X73, and then hit it with a 160, I believe, contrary to the notes on the page. I think I was hitting a 160 mash. So it's pretty compressed on the way in. So mainly I'm just going to throw, in the name of sameness here, put the 1073 across that as well. I'm gaining it a little bit to try to get a little extra harmonic in there. Just a slight bit of EQ. So here's with it and without it. So then we're going to sneak that guy in a little bit, all right? Ah, no. Here we go. All right. And so I also have a trigger set up. So it's kind of just going for some rattling. So, it's just a cracky little snaresy kind of sample. So I'm just going to tuck that underneath as well. So let's hear what that does when we add it in. Cool. So now, much like I do with my kick drum, I have all my snare mics routed to a stereo bus. So as you can see on the screen, everything's routed out snares, and then there's a snares input, and then that is routed to my drum bus. So inside that, I'm doing some extra harmonic goo to that. So first thing is just hitting the Studer with it. So let's hear what it does. Can't say that's not better. And then when I first got this is the Culture Vulture UAD plugin. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then I started just using it, and it's one of those. It's kind of like the Phoenix was, or is still that way. You can't put your finger on what it's doing. It just makes it a little louder in the mix and just sound a little better. So I'm just using a touch of it here, but I'll crank the mix all the way to 100% so you can hear what it's doing, and then I'll show you where I blend it in. But check this out. It kind of does something cool on the snare. So here's with it and without it. Cool. Now it's real subtle, but you notice it more in the mix. When you bypass it inside the whole mix, you miss it. It's not really overly apparent. It just does a cool thing. So then just finishing out through an SSL channel strip. As you can see, I'm not being drastic with anything. And I've got I think when I was in the mix, it felt like the snare was a little long. So I put a little bit of an expander on it, so just to kind of help duck the tails of the snare down a little bit in the whole mix. But it was kind of just for this song. I do like the way the compressor, even though if you're not hitting it, it just does something cool. This is just a killer channel strip. You put it on anything, it's going to sound better. But let's hear the SSL in and out. Here it is. Like I say, you can't help but play with it. If you don't pull this stuff and want to play with it, you should probably try to find another profession, because we're all twiddlers and then we love to mess with the sound. So, but that's kind of what I did on this song, just where I'm at. It'll probably be different tomorrow. I'm sure you guys will do something different, but maybe you can get something from it you can experiment with and turn it into a great sound. But here's the whole kit again. Let's see what it sounds like. Well, that's what I'm working on. It's time for you to get back to work. Later.